And one last thing, which I don't know how explicit I did it on Thursday, but is obviously once you've got the intro, which is also the soloing and the breaks between the verses, and you've got the verses, it's obviously the song is arranged with those parts, and it's how what the order of those. The arrangement is the arrangement of those parts, the order of them. So to give you some, there's a couple of things I think on the record itself. After when you come out the intro, you've got an intro, then a solo. You can call the whole thing the intro. I think it sits on. Sometimes the length that you're on G at the end of that part can vary. In the record, it's double length, and in some of the live versions, it goes, especially the unplugged one, I think, goes straight into the verse at the same time. So, but this is stuff. And I say it now. Just this is why I talk so much, and why the videos can be so long, because this stuff hopefully you can pick up on just from seeing it when you come across it. Just giving you too much advance warning. So the point is it's not too bad the transition out of the verse, because you end up with this, you end up with that's the double one into the first verse. So what you're trying to do here is obviously by this time you should just be able to call the verse, call on your fingers to execute for the verse. But quite often you're going to need that little kick. So the first chord of the verse being a C, as you come out of it, you know you go into the end of. So the extra time you're on G here, you're thinking, oh, it's a verse coming up. What's the verse? Oh, it's a C. Okay, so I'm ready to go. That's why the little gaps, the breaks, that extra bar of G is useful, because you should be navigating actively in the song. And then obviously when it doesn't happen, in between coming out of verse 3, I think, I'm not sure which verse, how they're numbered. You've got like this, yes, or going into verse 3, sorry, you go. I'm not sure I can't remember one there, but just the idea, that's the idea. So you've got less time to think, but that's if it doesn't catch you out when you've got plenty of time to think, but it catches you out later, it's just a case of that's part of the normal process of learning a song. It'll just smooth out the more you play, But it's still worth being aware of it, because you might be trying to run before you can walk, and if you haven't got all the rest of the stuff in place in the way we've already gone through it all, trying to bolt the arrangement together is a bigger task than it needs to be. Same as coming out of the verse, it's like coming out of the verse, it's an A minor G, isn't it? So it goes. It's hard because you do the whole. There's not a really good time to jump into the verse without doing a whole verse. So, but I'm not going to do that. So you're going to go. So like, I'll go D C A G. So it's like. As you're coming out, DC is a signal that the verse is ending. You get A minor G. So the minute you hit your G, you've got to be thinking, because I'm talking, I dropped a beat there, or I did a beat, but this is the thing you say. So you kind of, you're navigating through the song as you're playing the song. You might be enjoying it too much and you lose track. But once you hear DC, you're on the back end of the verse. So as you hit the A minor, you think, okay, the break's coming up, and you've got to be ready with the riff into E minor. You've got to be ready in advance. You've got to know it's coming up. You often don't settle down until maybe the second E minor G. Talking, it's just as you play, which is always a killer. And then you're back into I don't think you ever do one passage of that section into the verse, but I just thought I'd do it that way to show you how you've always got to have one eye on the arrangement, as well as everything else. So there you go. Everything else you can do from playing along with the record. So hopefully that's going to make some sense. And I think it's a lot more concise than the other stuff.